Well, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by schoolofbookkeeping.com, which is all about learning QuickBooks your way, whether you're nice enough to do it yourself. We have course content for that, or if you need some assistance, we got you covered there at School of Bookkeeping. So, hi, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you? I hate to tell you this, but kind of some of the same issues we were dealing with last week.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. You're fuzzy a little bit, and you're like kind of freezing, but it's not that bad. I can still see you. So I don't know. You might be having bandwidth issues again.
How's this? Is this any better?
Well, you're not freezing and I can hear you. So, your face is just a little bit blurry. So, you know, not the end of the world.
If you joined us last week, I'm sorry, because that was a challenge in and of itself. And we thought we had it covered by having Rachel push the go live button. According to our streamer platform that we're using, they said, hey, have somebody with more bandwidth click the button because it's using your internet to stream out. But
yeah, and my internet's good because I'm hardwired. But you're not freezing, and I can definitely hear you. And you're only slightly blurry, so we should definitely continue.
Okay, yeah, that's the least thing concerned with is getting a good view of Dan. Anyway. Okay, this is like the third try that we've tried to do this topic of Intuit Accountant Suite, navigating it, and hopefully when I share my screen, we don't have some pixelated shenanigans. But that's what we're going to talk about today. So the last full iteration that we had was just kind of like the overview, kind of setting the stage as to the changes that Intuit is making to Intuit Accountant Suite, the two different versions, the changes to the ProAdvisor program. We're now talking this section of navigating, because I remember when, Rachel, you opted in like before anybody.
Yeah, well, it's only because my oops, sorry, am I still there? It's only because I had it available for some strange reason, like very early, because different subscriptions, have different views for different people. And I think this is even before they even announced that it was coming out. I was like, what's this? Click.
So when you opted in,
oh boy, we lost Dan. Oh, now he's back. Oh, now he's sharing his screen. Well, he's here. Oh, there he is.
What does an aneurysm feel like?
Well, your shared screen popped up, but you left and then came back. So
yeah, it said oops, reconnect, and then I saw your deer in the headlights. Where'd he go? So now we're shuffled. Okay. What was I saying before I was
IAS. IAS.
Yeah. So when you opted in into the beta, was that did you get a choice of the different flavors to opt into?
I did at first. No, I didn't. You showed me a couple of the different versions. That's what I'm thinking of. No, when I opted in, it was just one version.
Got it. And what was your initial impression when it changed? Like what was it like this is the same as the new QBO, or like where the F is everything?
Well, visually, it doesn't look that much different. So at first I was like, oh, it's just slightly scrambled around. That's fine. Now they really did change the left-hand navigation menu. The dashboard type of stuff didn't look all that different, but I still now have a really hard time with finding the things I need to find. I mean, even just earlier today, I was looking for recurring transactions and I can't find it. So it really, really screwed me up. But again, I use Right Tool, so that always saves me. But for me, it's I have a really hard time finding things, and it just really chaps my hide when they move around things like that when I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, and I had a private tutoring session with an accountant yesterday or the day before, and he brought up something, or I noticed something that he was doing that I wanted to tell. He was using the QuickBooks desktop app, right? So the QuickBooks Online app. The
QBOA desktop app. But I thought they didn't have that anymore. I thought they did away with it.
Right. And it was available for all versions, and then they stopped developing it, and then they brought it back just for QBOA.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm thinking of, and I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah. So accountants, because you're technically using the firm books in the QBOA, is the advanced function, so you can use that as an accountant as well. So he was using the desktop app, and on the desktop app itself, there's a little toggle button for desktop view, which makes it look like desktop, like, so those people that have moved from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online, there is a toggle button on the app to give you that static sidebar and menus.
Oh, interesting.
And actually,
I didn't know that, and I'm gonna download that desktop app and I'm gonna see, because that's interesting.
Because because Intuit is moving the playing shell game with where did it go and those types of things. This makes things static, right? And you mentioned Right Tool as a tool that is sits over top of QuickBooks and makes things static for you. That is downside, right? Is that because you'd be using the desktop app, you can't use Right Tool.
Right, because it only works in Google Chrome.
Exactly.
But the thing is if I really was doing things correctly, I would just make things favorites, and I still plan on doing it. And of course, if you bookmark favorite, all the things that you typically use in the new IAS, that's what I'm going to call it. Then, of course, you have those things handy, and there are certain things I'm in all day. Yeah. So that would be very helpful. But the problem is the things that I am not in all day, and then I don't know where it is. Now, does it have, and maybe, I don't know if you're going to show it, but does it have a search ability? Like for me just to bring up recurring transactions, you know what I mean? And just like pop it up?
Yeah, that's
because again, I don't know where they nested that. And so, and by the way, the search bar at the top won't bring up a module. It'll bring up an amount or an invoice or a transaction, but it won't bring up a module that I'm looking for. And so that's really frustrating. Because again, where they put that? Is it in lists? Is it in here? Is it in system settings? I don't know.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just share my. Hopefully, I don't get killed. Where are you? There you are. Okay. And there we are. So now we can see. Now we're looking. Okay, so
yeah, I mean,
the first thing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean the first thing that's different, besides the fact that it's much more white, is the is the home that you come to, right? Instead of seeing your client list, which was the way that things were looking inside of QBOA. When you logged in, you would see the client list, because that was the original thought of QBOA when it first came out. Is it's a client dashboard to go into your client. So of course, you would want to see the clients first, because all you're doing is logging into this dashboard to get to your right. So that's more, so the feedback over and what Intuit has been working on is that you don't necessarily, there's things that you would like to have insights into as a firm, and you don't want to keep going into your clients in order to get those answers, right? So there's something that you might want to see. So the dashboard that comes up first, as it's customizable, right? You have this option here to customize and move things around. You can't get rid of a widget, but you can resize it and position it.
Which I love that.
But I
like that. I like any kind of customization.
Yeah. So the main things that, as far as the widgets that are concerned on that dashboard, is this Pro Advisor certificate, right? Which what this looks at is the number of team members that you have in your firm and what certifications that they've taken, right? So in this particular case, there's 7 team members and right, so on level 1, and nobody's certified on level 2 of the 7 that are there. And then you have this link there to in manage training and go right into and see a section of see all the team members and what their status is on their training, right? Because there's other trainings that you can have access to, because the Pro Advisor Academy is in there, and there's AI for accountants, there's the CAS training modules, the keeping certification. So you can go into the training for your team and see, well, what have they completed thus far, right?
Yeah,
so
and you know what?
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, I had something to ask you, like, where the heck is this? But guess what? I just looked at my dashboard and I instantly saw it. Okay. And the thing is I'm moving so fast sometimes that I just don't even see it. But okay. And now I like it, actually. And what I'm referring to is client apps. But yes. I actually like this way better. I like this way better than it was.
Right. And that's, that another IAS widget, right, is seeing it right on your dashboard. Clients, right? So here's listed 16, right? So this lists every client and how many apps they might have issues with. It doesn't mean that that's the problem, right? It could potentially. It's one of those Bill Robinson types of things, meaning that
we
something
have
to alert.
We have clients with lots and lots and lots of apps, and sometimes it'll show something's red when it's fine.
Yeah. So it's just something to to check on every once in a while, because this allows you to see that without going into the client to see what their status is.
I like that.
Yeah. Then is another widget that you can show here. This is really Intuit's marketing, right? A lot of time, as well as this client product recommendations widget, which is right below that. So as things are reviewed, in the right, it could make some QuickBooks product recommendations for add-on services that they might find useful, right?
Yeah. How about clients with disconnected bank accounts? I like that one a lot.
Yeah. yes, this is a great one because you can see all of the clients that have and how many accounts that are disconnected, because that's you're living in the bank feed for a lot of what it is that you do. That there might be an issue, with say there's one
Yeah.
disconnected account, right? So that may not be the client, and look for starting to enter in transactions. I'm going to take care of that first before starting to do my way. So the product updates is going to give you the features that um, you know if you're not participating in workshops like that, if you're not participating in the know webinars or anything like that, you can click on these things and learn more about those features, right? So there
Yeah.
is a sales tax agent, right? That I learned about at Connect, and some of the things that they're doing there for the sales tax um, functions and features. It's pretty cool. And here it is. File your sales tax easily. I would say that is a embellishment.
Filing
Right?
sales tax and easily should never be in the same sentence.
Right. It's like there's it's an oxymoron, right?
It's just like,
Filing them
honestly,
easily.
like what in the world?
It's like Microsoft Works. It just doesn't shrimp, right? Those things that don't mean the opposites. But you can see all of the updates, those types of things that Intuit wants you to know about, so you can get the scoop on those product updates, at least from Intuit's perspective, to what they're supposed to or designed to do. So then you've got your client product recommendations, disconnected bank accounts. So those are the main I saw that are pretty useful, because they consolidate data across your clients in one place. So
It would be
you
nice
don't,
though if they added some more for us to pick and choose from and
yeah,
customize the way that we really
or
want it, the way
yeah,
that
or hide widgets
several
that you don't want to
other,
see, right?
yeah, exactly. Like several other products that I use that have a lot more customization, that you can hide things you don't want
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
view things you do want, and so on and so forth.
yeah. So there's this privacy toggle, which is if you're sitting in a Starbucks and you're logged into
Oh yeah,
your
that's a good idea.
like the quick, but yeah, it's an all or nothing, right? So
Yeah.
some things that that you wouldn't consider to be private, drive repeat business, it doesn't show up at all when you turn off this
Yeah.
privacy thing. But you're at the airport, or somewhere public that you don't, and working on your client's stuff, and you don't necessarily want to have somebody lurking over your shoulders. You can toggle that privacy on to hide that. Now, the way that this looks is subject to your who you're logged in as, right? So if you dashboard for yourself, that shouldn't be modified for other people on your team, as well as on the left side, right? So that's probably the biggest headache for people to navigate, is everything was on the left side. Where to go, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And I mean, now they're sort of like clustered up in things that I don't know where. Or if the idea was to put them on the dashboard so they're more visible, I don't know to look there, right? Like client apps, which I just discovered. So, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I'm the kind of person, I need to take some more time to sit down and go through it and really, understand where everything is. I have just been very busy lately, but it's nothing that isn't easily rectified by sitting down and spending, 10, 15 minutes going through and really making sure you understand.
Yeah, so Chris was for all users, and then said immediately, "Oh, you just answered my question." But if you are logged into a client, if you're logged into the firm and you don't have access to any of these things that you should see, like if you're, basic, what used to be referred to as basic, or you don't have firm access, you only have client access, you won't see much of anything other than things that don't have insight into the at all, right? Or any of your clients, right? So you won't see, but that privacy is something for company admins of the firm. And then you also see that.
So if you're not a company admin of the firm of QBOA, or IAS, then you won't have that privacy switch.
Right. If there's nothing to keep private, you won't see the privacy.
Got it.
That's the theory. That doesn't mean that that's the reality all the time, but that was the intention of that privacy toggle.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Dan, and maybe one thing that I know on the left-hand navigation screen of kind of the way that it was before is, to me, it kind of felt like there was a couple of different places where I could access things. Now it kind of feels like there's one place. Is that true? Am I seeing that right, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, I think that's probably that's what I've been noticing as well, is like to get to things, there still is for some things, but they are trying, I think in reality, they're trying to, push people to the left side, right? And
if you go into bank transactions or bank feeds, I feel like I used to be able to access a lot more, and then did they do away with that?
Well, and there's only so much real estate on the left side, right?
Yeah.
So all this wasted space that's here at the top, right? So I would assume, they might use that, at some point utilize this global header at the top. But I think for the time being,
now that I'm looking at it closely, part of it is this setup is difficult for my eyes. I have a hard time with small print. And so when you're logging on to something like this, QuickBooks Online, and I am looking at small print, sometimes I'm squinting and then I'm like, and I don't see all the things. Obviously, under Good Afternoon, Daniel, we've got, those are shortcuts, right? Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to, I could click on that and go to whatever I wanted, expenses and pay bills, which is the same under all apps. That would be the same module, expenses and pay bills, right? Or is that a different setup?
No, it's so if I go to clients, right? Essentially, that's going to take me to the client overview.
Your client list. Now, is that customizable though? Those things at the top?
You see up here, you mean?
Yeah.
No, they are just there. Those are the main groupings for, for the sections that are here, right? So you've got the same thing.
But like, for example, like this one at the top, expenses and pay bills. Well, on the left-hand side, under firm operations, it's expenses and bills, not pay bills. So this is a different little module that it's, you know what I mean? It's going to an expenses and pay bills overview, but that's not the same thing that I would see if I clicked on expenses and bills and then overview. Is it? Oh, it is. It
Let's see.
is. Okay.
It is.
All right. They're all sort of hyperlinking to the same thing. That's what I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good call out, because when you're on the home screen, these sections here at the top, all right,
They're
are
shortcuts.
and should be, they are and they should the same that you see.
Yeah, because it makes me think like, well, it's not named the same. It's pay bills, which there's specifically a function called bill pay or pay bills, and it's, you don't see that in bill payments. Actually, yeah, you do. Okay, but it's no that okay, never mind. Yeah, and so it's worded slightly different, so it makes you it makes me think like, wait, is it the same thing? It's a little confusing.
My guess, right, and I'm just guessing because I stopped a long time ago trying to second guess what why things are, but I would say it's a real estate here on the left side,
Okay,
right? Because up at the top, everything's horizontal, right? So you have as much as you want. You can add more text, in these little app icons here at the top. But here on the left side, if that would be the only end further out, right? So
okay,
I think the word pay just got the axe, because that would then stick out much than everything else that's here. So I think in to keep things narrow, or as narrow as they could be on this side, they just dropped the word pay.
gotcha. So essentially, everything across the top is basically what you're saying along the side.
Exactly. And so that's part of the UI overhaul of QuickBooks Online, is this changing of technology from of apps to integrations, right? So what we used to consider an app to be a third party like Bill.com or Melio or Ramp, or really just sticking to the expense ones, but sales tax of Avalara, all the things that integrate with QuickBooks, we used to call apps, and they used to call them apps. Now, apps is the sections or the workspaces,
modules.
The modules of QuickBooks are applications. Now, integrations, that's the and this is part of the challenge of it's not consistent. Hector hates the fact that the calendar is different.
Yeah.
Here is this my integrate at the top, but then this widget says what? Clients with app issues.
Yeah, it's hard, and I don't like that, because it's basically they say, yeah, we want to now refer to everything as apps, and then if it's not consistent throughout the whole thing, then it leaves people feeling confused.
Yep, and that's
I don't really like that. I don't really need to call the functionalities within QuickBooks apps. I don't really get that.
Yeah, but again, something that was like, okay, well, what do we call it so that it's enough to fit on the left side, right? Because
that's true, but Intuit's always like that. Let's call two different things the same word and then mean something different.
Yeah. If that's what you're calling anything that's not an app within QuickBooks, should be called something else, right? So simple enough, change this client with integration issues, or integrators issues, or whatever it is that they're calling it up here, right? So just make it consistent, and then it will be easier to adopt, and you wouldn't really need a workshop or or
Yeah,
an extra
they're
training
like
to get yourself familiar with.
they're like the kings and queens of that will adapt this and then phase out the other thing.
Right. And this is where feedback comes in, right? So go ahead and put that feedback in. And with the question of the day is, do you struggle to find things in the new IAS, right? Um,
Well,
so
for me, not as much anymore because this has been really helpful to kind of. I have to set aside the time. Like the whole time that we've been doing this, I've been looking on my dashboard, going like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's the same as that thing," and "Oh yeah, that's where that is." So I have to be forced to sit down and spend some time and look through it. And now it's good. I mean, as long as I still have that plus button at the very top too. They better not take that thing away, otherwise I'm going to be really mad.
Exactly. So just working down the left side navigator, the left side navigation. So the briefcase, that's what this icon is supposed to be. This little attaché, which is called menu. Right before it was up here in the global header, where you could see all of your accountant tools. Whether you were in your firm or your client's books, you would see that briefcase, and you could click on it and go to reconcile or new window or reclassify transactions. All the things that was specific for accountant users was in this little top menu thing that accountants noticed. Was like, where'd the briefcase go? Well, it didn't go far, right? It just moved from the top to this part here, and it's now called my menu instead of just a briefcase, right?
Yeah, which is completely customizable. I just looked in there. It's very cool.
Yeah. So it's sectioned off into 3 sections: the bookmarks, create, and tools, right? And this little icon to the right here is an indicator that if you click this option, it's going to go another tab, right? So that's what would so a new window would go to a new window, a new tab, and a referral would take you to another tab, and then Pro Connect tax on clearly go to another tab because that's another service, right? But this little icon here is a customized option, right? So you can reorder sections. So if you want the create to be at the top or the tools to be at the top, change the order of those sections. And then anything that you can bookmark as well, right? So you can search through any of the ones that you were previously using. You can add them here, and then again however you see fit. Same thing for create. Part of your engagement with your client is something entering in bills, right? You may want to have bills, be a create option, as well as those tools, right? So if you're not into tax prep, there's no need to see those things there. So you can reorder them and them available in the My menu, right? When you do bookmark something, it does automatically go into the bookmarks down below, right? So
I love that. And I just bookmarked custom reports, which I need. And I always make custom reports and want those like at the click of a button because I always forget. And then I always go in the standard reports. It's actually pretty cool. I really like this a lot.
Yeah. Once you get to, once you get past the F stage, it's actually not too bad, right? So that's the menu and the bookmark. You mentioned the plus button, right? Which used to be called the create new or
new or something. Now it's create.
Still the same. It's just called something else, right? So it's now the create button instead of the new button, right? So you got your invoice. This is not customizable either, right? So if you were used to the new button, Now it's still there.
And please don't change this around into it. I depend on this thing.
This is something that's static, that is the same regardless of what flavor that you're on. So that's a good thing. Home, of course, takes you to your dashboard. Reports will take you right to your report center, and then kind of mention the all apps. Now, big difference between QBOA, IAS is the sections, right? So in QBOA, it used to have your practice, which had anything that was dealing with the firm itself, right? Client list, teams, the pro advisor, all of those things that were firm were in the your practice section. So now they've kind of changed that to service delivery, and which makes sense, right? Like that the things that are mostly concerning with your practice is your service delivery for your work is there, right? So it used to be in your practice, and now it's work, and then you've got your projects and all the tasks that you associated, and then the client insights and books close, which we'll talk about. Books close we'll talk about next week. Client insights the week after that, going into some of the deeper dives on that. And then everything that was in your books is now in firm operations, right? Because that's essentially the thing, right? Like, so everything so your clients and your client list is the same as your customers or your clients in your books, right? So that was always a point of fusion when it came to BOA and your books and the firm clients, right? So this is trying to homogenize that. You can still go into, oops, if I can get to it, in the customer hub, which you get an app for that. You can go in clients there, but that's going into your customer list inside your books, as opposed to going into the client list to access their books.
That's what I was saying before, is I like that narrowed down client list, which is just the QBO subscriptions. And you can bookmark that and put that in your top of your bookmarks, and then there you go. It's right there.
Yep. And then in there you can filter for all of your clients or those with just a subscription.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. I just like to see subscriptions.
That way you can see, anyone that does have a QuickBooks subscription, and now more to it, right? Like, what do they have for accounting solutions? What do they have for other products? If they have attached apps, you can see that all in and access it. I'm just wondering what extra columns that you have. So email and phone number is things that in addition that you can add. So obviously, if you're not doing taxes, right? So you can undo the preps for taxes columns.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? I really like that. That's actually a really cool feature, because you know what I was always doing is I would have to go into their QBO, because sometimes I'd need to get their email or address or whatever. And I would go into their QBO, into their settings, and I would look up their address that way, just like if I needed it quickly. And now I can, make this view something quicker that I can reference.
Yep. So those are all available in all apps. And then when you actually do go into something, you get this little icon here at the top, which then you don't have to then hover over the all apps to sneak up on the option, because then you can just click this little icon here, and it's kind of like a static menu that you can work with, rather than trying to find sneak up on it here. this is part of my feedback. Using this all apps is a little challenging because if you don't get to the sub menu fast enough, or you click on the wrong one, or resizes or something,
Yeah.
it you not be in the right place. So this expansion of left side navigator is is a nice option, and then it's a lot more easier to navigate around in QuickBooks rather than doing this hunt and peck, search and destroy type of thing. Right? And then there, just like in QBO today, right, you have areas or sections of that, what they would refer to as apps, that the client or the work, right, from the service delivery. Those three service delivery sections are first, right? So you've got your work, sites, and books closed. If, of course, you're not on the accelerate option, you wouldn't see insights because IAS accelerate function only. The firm operations apps of clients, team, and so you can access those down here at the bottom, or click customize, and you can customize the apps on the left side as to which should be pinned and in what order. So again, that is customizable by user. So if job or your at your firm are just reconciliations, then you can pin the tab or pin the app that gets you to that sooner. All right. Now,
I really like it. They have a lot of customization options. I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 when it comes to preferences and being able to teach or train your clients, right? Because if they've customized a point where with what you have, then it's hard for you to say, well, this is what you do to have if you have a client who has a question, it's like, where do I go to pay my sales tax?
Yeah.
If you don't have the option here, right?
Yeah, and also we do a lot of, like, internally, we do a lot of step-by-step scribe, how do I do this? Mm-hmm. And, well, a lot of those are irrelevant now that this has been changed. But I may have things, in my left-hand navigation bookmarked that, people are seeing certain things that maybe they don't have set up on there. So internally, it can maybe get a little confusing too with all the extra customization. But I usually, what I'll say is, like, if I'm doing a Loom video, for example, and I'll say, you want to go here to the left-hand navigation and, click here, and then you can find expenses. And then I'll usually say, if you don't have this view, then, you can always look here and see if it's there. I don't know. I always give a different option or something, like a caveat, just in case. I'm always really careful not to say it's exactly here. You go here. You go here. I always kind of have to word it like you may or may not see exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, and one of the options that you might have is that if you get to a screen, right, and you want to just get to the screen and basically spoon feed it for them, grab the URL, right, and once they're signed in to their QuickBooks, if you click on, if you have them click the URL, it will take them. But if you're trying to teach them,
that's a great idea. Yeah.
If you're trying to teach them how to do that sort of thing, then that kind of supersedes the option to get there, right? Otherwise, you're training them to ask you to give you the to provide the link, as opposed to this is fishing for them, right?
Yeah.
So So I want to talk lastly about the global header, right? We talked about the search bar. It's changed, you know, it's the same search, the advanced search inside of QBOA. It just has gone from a magnifying glass to a whole field, right? So you'll just have that field. It does the exact same thing and has the same limitations. I don't think there's anything new ish for what the search actually does, but I'm sure they're actually working on it because there's a lot of feedback about search.
Which, by the way, search for me is one of the greatest things. We, as a team, we use this all day, every day.
Moving to the top, you've got your tasks, right? So there's a tasks for the firm, the client work that you have up here, right? So rather than just click on those tasks at the top and see those tasks. Now the lightning bolt, this is where workflows are located. So things that you want to see or specify so that QuickBooks does things automatically, as Brad Smith would say. So you can create those workflows and have easy access to them. You have your firm integrations, and you can see little icons if there are things that might need your attention or not, right? Notifications. This is and another notification here, so you can see and address them. So collaborating through the bank feed and those types of things, task, and your client replies to that, or replies to a task. You can, and then notifying you pending approvals and things for bills and invoices and those types of things as well. That's where you would see notifications. And then your favorite, the gear. So you got the gear menu. So as long as the plus sign and the gear don't change, you can still find your
don't change that.
way around.
I am really interested in automations, and we do a lot of automation, and I just don't use them in QBO because I don't really know a lot about what there is. But do you know if they allow outside apps for integration, like for Slack or things like that?
No, this is the workflow is mostly for a reminder inside of QuickBooks, an approval, a notification, something to send.
I see.
Or update, and they will be.
It's not necessarily an action and a trigger. It's all from one point in QBO to another point in QBO.
Yeah, I mean, or it could, like, if you're sending something, then it could send an email outside of, to a customer, or it could send an email to, somebody, a team member or things like that.
Okay.
But it's all, triggered within some side of QuickBooks.
So is it like if Bill is created, it can send an email notification to a team member or something?
Yep. Yeah. So when you choose bills, these are the three things that you could do: a reminder, an approval, or a notification. Let's see what reminder gives us right. So when a bill is created or edited, the bill payment status is unpaid, right? Criteria, and you can add to it, right? So bills created or edited and it's unpaid, yes, it'll send a reminder to, right? So that's the
That's
so
pretty
you can
cool.
send it and notify via a task, right? So it can automatically create somebody to do something affected, or maybe they just need to pay it, right? That could be the task, right? So, hey, do this before it's done, and then um, all reminders will be sent at the time you selected here. You end this task when it's paid. You have to have this task listed and mark it closed. You have this criteria of ending the task, right? So as soon as the bill is paid, then the task is done. So it's just a way to keep the work flowing inside of QuickBooks Online.
Yeah, it's cool.
So there's all sorts of templates that are in here. One of the things that is really cool about these workflows is about payment reminders, right? So in all other versions of QuickBooks, if you have an invoice and you want to remind your customers to pay that in simple starts, it's all or nothing, right? So you can specify the number of days, but here automations you can set different criteria, right? So if the dollar amount is less than $50, maybe you don't want to keep sending yours. It might be, hey, if it's over $1,000 and it's less, let's talk about that, right? And you send multiple different reminders on different that, maybe the wording gets a little bit stronger each time. Hey, it's been 3 months. We're gonna legal team involved if you continue. So it's just more customizations that you can do. But we've diverted into a different topic of what is workflows, which we'll make another.
I know, because I like automations, and I'm getting a lot more involved in them. So,
and then the last
very cool to me
here is the help, which apparently they don't want to help me because it's blank. Oh, there it is. But you have the help, and then you have your Pro Advisor and managing your Intuit account, which you had before.
Yeah, so, we don't need to talk about the help here because if anybody needs help, they can just go to school of bookkeeping.
That's right. So that is the overview of the navigation inside of the new IAS Intuit Accountant Suite, regardless of what flavor that you have, whether it's Core or Accelerate. It's consistent, at least, with the new user interface, with the exception of green bar, right? So the global header across the top will let you know if you're in your firm or if it's by the shading of the color.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see that.
Put it to the test.
Yeah. Okay.
So
why didn't I notice things like that, Dan?
Oh no. And why didn't I notice that there could be Daniel? Figure out where they're pulling Daniel, because that's
your Intuit profile probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so color at the top, if you're in green, that's just a brain signal to let you know I'm in my firm or I'm in my client.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh, so this was so informative. I'm really grateful. Yeah, I learned a lot.
Now, next week, we're going to take a deeper dive into the books close, which they labeled as an advanced books review. We'll talk about what they mean by that next week on the workshop. Sorry we went a little long, and sorry I'm pixelated.
That's okay.
Figure out the whole. We'll figure out get it working eventually at some day. But I appreciate you joining us this week, and we'll see you next time on the workshop. Bye bye, everybody.